Welcome, everyone, to our PTA, Utah PTA Pulse podcast. Boom, 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 boom. I'm Mike Williams, Director of Communications. I want to say Communications Director. And to my right, your left.
I'm Angelie Aedo, the Family Life Commissioner.
And I'm Cammy Whitchurch, Community Engagement Commissioner.
And today we're going to talk about commissioners. These two, right?
Yeah.
All right, our question is, what's the cringiest thing you've ever shared on social media?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
I just feel like everything I shared from 2013, 2007 when I first got social media to 2013 is all cringy, all of it.
Yeah.
But Facebook was weirder then. It gave you prompts. Do you remember that? Or it would ask you a certain question. Because I'll get in my memories, it's you said this that day, and I'm
why would I say that?
And I'm why would I type it like that?
Because you were responding to a prompt. Mm-hmm.
So I'm oh, why did I put that on Facebook?
Well, and sometimes I put things out there and then analyze why I did that after. I don't know if you guys do that where you're why did I do that? People are going to think that was so stupid. And they probably don't even care. They're no, I didn't, whatever. But I can't think of specifics. What are some cringy things?
I don't know if I have any. Well, I could. Go check out my Facebook.
All right, everybody check out our Facebooks.
I'll tell you just one thing I hate about people that when they post something on Facebook, I'm having such a bad day. Oh, freak. And then everybody's like, what's going on? Just tell us why you're having a bad day.
I know, for real. Why do you have to be It's you want people to ask you. You want people to talk to you about it. So just post what it is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I guess they could be I want them to talk to me, but if I put why, they'll avoid me. I don't know what it is.
So I'm going to make them ask.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. I did post a lot about boys when I was younger. I was upset with this one person, or we were in a fight, or I'd post some song lyric that went around the situation. We broke up, but we're whatever.
Mm-hmm. That was applicable to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cammy, how old are you?
I am 44.
Okay, and I'm 42, and Angelie?
I'm 35.
Okay. I think there's a little difference. I was married when Facebook came out. I didn't have to deal with kids. I didn't get on
until after I was married, so I didn't have to worry about the dating scene or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. I had a MySpace in high school, and then Facebook came out when I was a junior, but you had to have a college email, and somehow I got around that because I opened my Facebook up when I was a junior in high school.
Yep, I got my Facebook because I went to Slick and I was cool, I have a Slick email, I can get on Facebook.
When I was late to the game, a bunch of my family kept saying, you need to get on Facebook. And I'm no, I don't.
No, I don't.
And then I got on and now I've regretted it ever since. So,
well, and
just going down those, you just scroll and scroll and scroll.
I do love, that you can keep in touch with people easier. In the past, you would often just lose friendships if they moved or whatever, and now you can just connect that way. But there's so many now. There's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter.
Have you ever recognized, so I have friends' spouses that I had never met in person. One of them, it was one of my really good friends growing up, little brother. And I followed him on Facebook and knew it as well. I guess I did meet them at the wedding. But still, not enough to really recognize this person if they walked into a building. But because of the post that he made, his wife walked in to my dentist office, and I was "Oh, you're Jamie's wife."
Yeah.
And I'm that's probably really creepy. But just because you see them and you see their light, you feel like you know them. Which is kind of creepy when you think about it, but.
I don't know, you're kind of experiencing their life with them.
Yeah. But he did the same thing to my daughter. He ran into my daughter and he's I know your mom, I grew up with your mom. And my daughter's who is this strange man talking to me?
That is
so
strange.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely had mine. It all started when I was a teenager, and I was very boy crazy, so there's lots of things. And even like my freshman year of college, I dated a lot, so much. And there's just like pictures I've posted and like just the captions alone. I'm like, oh man.
No. Nothing like that for me.
I'm trying to think if I don't know that there's some like specific like, oh, that was really cringy thing that I've ever posted. I do try to be a little cautious of that. But there are times when I'm like, just kind of lame. Like, why did I post that?
Well, I think like the way you post matures as you get older, you know, for sure. Because
yeah,
even when I was older, when I just had my like young kids, I was still younger than I was now, and I like when those memories come up, I'm like, oh, why did I post that? Like, why?
Are you?
And now I never post anything, so.
Well, I can't see anything cringeworthy on here. Yeah. Me and my wife, I don't know.
Oh, those pictures are so cute.
Cute pictures.
So one thing that maybe I did learn from, and it wasn't necessarily a specific post that I posted, but I think the cringy things that have happened is like when I've responded to someone, and sometimes in writing things don't translate, and you know, so it's one of those things where you're not going to change anyone's mind online. I don't know if people have realized that, but you're not. And so I was kind of responding.
There you go.
And I didn't feel like it was in a combative way.
Sorry.
I didn't feel like I was responding in a combative way, but it was contrary to what she had posted. And so it kind of turned into this, like, I felt like I got attacked back. And, you know, so I've kind of learned, like, no, if you disagree with someone, maybe it's better to just let that one go.
Yeah.
Dignity index.
Because you're right, though. You can't sway someone's opinion online. Like, especially these days.
Yeah. So that would probably be the one thing, is probably in response to someone just, you know, trying to say, well, actually I see it this way, and okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know, like, you know, sometimes you're scrolling through and you'll see an argument happening, and I'm like, there's like nothing good has come out of it. You know, no one has like said like, oh yeah, I see your side of the picture, or like, I changed my mind because of what you said. No, they just like end up more mad.
Yeah.
Just disengage. Don't engage with it.
And that's what I did. I went, okay, we're done with that post.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, who's going first? Family life?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
So today we're talking about us and our commission jobs. We kind of want to start highlighting our commissioners and just other people on our board and the work that Utah PTA is doing. So I didn't write anything down actually. But some of the things that I am working on this year. So in family life, we focus on like early childhood education, and then basically anything that relates to family life and if it affects kids. So that's kind of a big, broad subject area.
That's basically the PTA.
That's like,
I know.
everything. Like,
yeah, it's very all-encompassing.
yeah. So I feel like other commissioners, each commissioner's kind of taken it down their own journey and focused on specific things, and I've kind of been focusing on family mealtime, or just like intentional family time, and working on those relationships and making that time like worth it, you know. When you're thinking about a family meal, and those look different for everyone, you can learn so much having a discussion with your family at dinner or breakfast or whatever. And it can't be a family meal where you're like all like, okay, I got my food in. That's not it. We're talking about like phones away, having a discussion, learning how to disagree with each other, talking about and learning about what your sibling likes, what your parents into, you know, all the things. And that looks different, however your family meals look. And sometimes you just dedicate a day, like Saturday breakfast is the time that we're doing that, you know. So that's kind of one thing that is like near and dear to me. We're working on a campaign to put in all our PTA schools right now. We're working on the podcast. That's kind of a big one too. We want people to realize like the value of PTA, you know, and why we have it, why we're all invested in it, but why it's important too. I also work, this is a new thing I'm working with, is with our community schools. And this is a really interesting committee that I've been on. So community schools are where they're focusing on the whole child, but also the whole family. And so up in Davis County, they have several community schools. And at their community school locations, so one in particular, Wasatch Elementary, that's one I've been to, they have their school, and then connected to their school is the community school, and they have classrooms, they have a computer lab, they have a pantry, a food pantry, a massive clothes pantry that has like everything you could imagine for clothes, coats, pajamas, shoes, underwear, socks, shirts, you know, all the things. They have backpacks. They also have Head Start there. They have Welcome Baby. They have the early Head Start. They teach English classes for their Spanish learners, adult Spanish learners. They have GED classes. They have a therapist there. Like, so many wonderful things are happening as they're focusing on bringing the community into integrating that community, which is awesome.
So is that directly, like, is that in the school or just next to the
It's
school?
in the school.
It is the school.
Mm-hmm. It's attached to the school.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So the parents can, I mean, you could drop your kids off and literally go to like an English class maybe or something.
And they have evening stuff too, you know, because they know that, you know, parents work and whatnot. So I don't know. I was like, wow, this is like really cool. It's like, I don't know, a really special thing. Mm-hmm. And in Davis County, they recently did an event where they invited, it was a district-wide event, and they invited all of their, like, all the community partners from, like, Division of Workforce Services and to Tabitha's Way, you know, so many different community partners, and you could just go and you could talk to them and get things that you need, or if you know a family in need or whatever, they had it all there. And they said it was so successful. They had like 4,000 people there. And I think if you're struggling with something, then you need help, you would probably want to go to an event where there was like way more people as opposed to just like your own school event, because you're like, oh, she's gonna see me, like I don't want her to see me like talking to these people, like, but when it's big, it kind of takes that away. So that is really cool.
And how often do they do that? Yearly? Is this kind of a new thing?
So they've done a couple. I know they did one like right before school started, and then they might have done one. I know they've done 2 this year so far, but I feel like they do like a winter one too. And other school districts have something similar, and then they're also working with school districts to get something going. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I know Alpine School District, they just opened their first like community school center or teen center. So
yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Okay, what else did I want to talk about?
Well, I heard, I don't know if this one that you're talking about, but I've heard the high school up in Davis County has like the showers for kids.
Oh yeah, in their teen centers, yeah.
Yeah, they have
and washer and dryers.
Yeah, they can do laundry,
all that stuff. So
computers and internet
awesome.
for them to do homework and stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, which is
great.
It's really cool. There's some really good work like happening in the family life sphere. One thing that my committee commission also focuses on is the School of Excellence plan for schools. And what that is it's an award that you can get from National PTA, but you send out a survey to your school patrons, and it has a whole bunch of questions, just basically like how is your school doing, like the climate of your school. And then once you get those survey results, you look at it and you come up with a plan on how to attack some of those things that maybe your school is lacking. Maybe people said your school doesn't feel welcome. You know, what could you do to make your school more welcoming? Or I know my friend in St. George, she worked on getting her school to have everything translated into Spanish because they have a large Spanish population, and to, you know, make those parents feel welcomed into their school. And doing that, like, it really showed a big difference, and it brought more culture into their school and showing those parents that they were welcome. So you do the survey, look at the data, come up with a project, and sometimes it's like a one-time thing project, sometimes it's a year-long project, sometimes it's like a few events project. It just kind of depends on what your school needs. And then you take the survey again closer to the end of the school year and evaluate how you did. And you hope that whatever you did, your project was meaningful, so that whatever thing you were focused on, the numbers go up. And I think whether you finish out the School of Excellence, if you do the project or don't, I think just the baseline survey is some really good data to see how your school is doing. And it's anonymous and it's different. It's not a survey, like, it's about the school, but it's not from the school. You know, because sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to tell you that, like, you're struggling in XYZ, you know, like,
yeah,
you know. And so I think it's a really good to have that third party that's kind of in charge of the survey and getting that data. I don't know, that's one of my favorite things. We also work with military families. So I have two specialists. Melinda Tanner is my family engagement specialist, and then I have Jenny Taylor, who's our military family specialist, and she's kind of in charge of doing like military assemblies, or right now she's working on a Veterans Day essay contest, and then just making sure there's support for military families, because they're all over in Utah. And I mean, we can probably all think of a family that's impacted by the military, and they have different needs, you know, when they're moving around a lot, or when their parents are deployed, or whatever the circumstances, they have a lot of just different needs. So I think that's awesome. I'm sure there's other things. What else did I write down? Let me see. I'm working with we're doing a little pilot program in Alpine School District to help schools kind of figure out what they're doing to help with just dealing with, like, everyday behaviors in school, and how the PTA can help, or if the school needs help, or if they want a program brought in, or if they want us to research programs, or kind of just, like, building that connection more with our, like, school admin team and solving, like, real problems. I love that PTA is, like, fun, you know, and we plan all these parties, but I feel like once you feel the power of the PTA, then you can solve those, like, real problems, you know, instead of just, like, sweeping them under the rug, or just always being, like, the party people. Like real meaningful work can be done once you, like, feel the mission statement. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of it.
So do you want to talk about your resolution that you just did?
Yeah, so we just passed a resolution at advocacy conference. We updated the family engagement and education resolution, and we know that families being involved is very important, and students are more successful when their parents are engaged in their education and engaged with their schools. And the reason we updated it, well, one is because our research was outdated, and so we wanted to make sure that what we were saying still had, like, is that what the research is still saying, or do we need to word it differently, or whatever. And we kind of went into it just like, we're just going to update the research, but we ended up updating the whole resolution. And I feel like we really made it so that it can be powerful, so that anyone can see that as a PTA, we want families involved. You know, we want them engaged. We want them to be a partner with the schools. And I feel like once you realize that schools and parents are partners, that is so powerful. But if you're a parent and you decide you don't want to partner with that school, like, it's going to be hard, you know, and it's going to be hard for your kid to feel supported with school stuff if you're like, well, I don't care about that. Or if there's been times when I've been upset with my kid's school, and I'm like, but I still am like, I need to partner with them and we need to solve this problem or we need to fix this or whatever so that my kids can be successful at school. And I think, yeah, it's just a much stronger resolution too. So it's awesome.
Yeah. So if someone wants to get involved in your commission,
so they can email me, Angelie, Angelee at utahpta.org. And maybe when we post this episode, we'll post our little join commissions form. And then if anybody's interested, we meet 4 times a year. We've already had our first meeting, so 3 more times. I don't know. We might throw in an extra one if we feel like we need it, but that's kind of how we meet. So.
And so are they just kind of helping support your work?
Yeah, and right now we have a little working group that's working on one of my other resolutions. It's our child abuse and neglect resolution, and we need to update that. And so they're helping us find research and kind of sifting through all the things, which is really nice because it's a lot of work trying to find all the right research, and research is not biased. I mean, all research is biased, but like as non-biased as it can be, and making sure that we've read a lot of different types of research too about the subject. So that is really nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. Well, and even just that different perspective. Sometimes they see things that you don't see, or, maybe we need to add this, or, this doesn't seem to be applicable anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really
and sometimes like we go into it like, oh, we want to find the research that supports this statement that we already have in our heads, and they're kind of just digging into the research and being like, is this good? Is this something we want to bring forward? Or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But I'm very much appreciative of that.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like a lot of things going on, just like bits and pieces of a lot of things.
Yeah, because it is so encompassing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like as commissioners, like we have our own titles, but all our jobs are intertwined.
Yes.
And a lot of us work together on different things. Like I've attended the safety conference and we did some safety stuff together, and these 2 commissioners are working together on this because all of our things are intertwined. I mean, family life touches community engagement and education and individual development and health and safety. Like it touches all the things. And I think our commissioners are doing a pretty good job right now of like working together and kind of finding like some things we could work together on. And I don't know, it's really fun.
Yeah. It is. It's a lot of fun. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else? Anything else you want to share, or?
I mean, I'm sure there's something, but I feel like I shared a lot of things in
No, you did.
a short amount of time.
That was really, really helpful just to get a good understanding and overview of what you do. And I don't know if people realize that it does seem like a lot. I shouldn't say that, but just how busy commissioners are. It's not. I mean, it's a busy job, and you spend a lot of time every week. Attending meetings and working on various projects. So it's time consuming. So thank you for
it is time consuming. And I feel like you have to kind of like meetings.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mean, I like meetings where we get things done and it's like successful. I hate when you leave a meeting and you're like, oh, that should have been an email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you make the best friends.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And just that greater understanding of PTA.
Yeah.
I love that. That's really the focus, I feel like, of commissioners. I don't know.
Well, and Cammy, she's the community engagement commissioner, but I think sometimes we think PTA is just in our like local schools, but it can really be everywhere, as you get the community involved. And all right, Cammy, so what you got going on?
Okay, so I'm the community engagement commissioner. I'm Cammy Whitchurch, and I kind of sometimes feel like the community engagement commissioner is kind of like, I feel like like you said, I feel like I dabble in all the other commissions. There's so much crossover and things that we both are kind of working on and want to team together for. And the other thing is, I kind of feel like it's my job to help the community understand what the commissioners do and who they are.
That's a big job.
So, yeah. It is. And I feel like, I myself didn't fully understand, what the commissioners were until I got onto the state board as an associate director and started going to, and actually the commission that I joined happened to be the Community Engagement Commission. So, and even seeing, how that's evolved and how different commissioners, approach it differently too. So I think that turnover is good too, to kind of get some fresh eyes and a different perspective on the work. But as the Community Engagement Commissioner, I feel like I'm over everything community. And it feels kind of like you. It feels like this big, broad, huge area. And so you kind of do have to kind of hone in and narrow in on a few things, or else it would be overwhelming. So pretty much anything that deals with community, whether that's, civic engagement, fundraisers, community events, things like that, I feel like that all kind of falls into community engagement. And so I kind of have three main goals. So the first goal is, and I feel like too at the state level, our job is to help support the locals, so that they can carry out the mission of PTA as well. So, and the mission of PTA is to help every child. Oh my goodness! All of a sudden I just drew a blank.
To make every child's
potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And so, as a state, I feel like that's our. I don't know why I just drew a blank. Other than I do that every time I'm on the spot.
I do that every time too. I'm like, the mission is.
Yep. That's what I do.
I know it.
Or like someone's name, you're like, I knew your name 5 seconds ago, but now that I'm trying to say it, I don't remember what it is. So I do know the mission. I say it all the time, and I think it's such a valuable statement, and there are so many beautiful parts to it. Just that empowering other people. So back to not getting on tangents here. So I feel like as a state board, our job is to help empower our local PTAs, to empower their communities and empower their families to advocate for those children. And obviously we're all working on our own to advocate for them as well, but helping to teach that and to empower them to be able to do that. So my first goal is to create kind of a bank of resources for our local PTAs, so that they have kind of a framework and help in connecting with families and educators, administrators, and people throughout the community. So we're kind of trying to create a procedure, I guess you'd call it kind of a procedure handbook, on how you would, maybe contact your civic leaders or different businesses, maybe a fundraising section. And so this is a big, this in and of itself is a big project. And I'm taking my my commission, and we're kind of breaking up into subcommittees,
Nice.
to kind of get this work done, because I can't do it on my own. There is no way, and I would love to have more local help, because you guys are down there, like you're in the trenches, you're the boots on the ground, and you know what those needs are. And so I really would love more locals on my commission.
Same.
So this is open to anyone. This is not just you have to be on the state board or on a council or a region. Like this, really, these committees need to be made of our locals, because you're the ones who know. So anyway, creating that resource, also having resources on the website like flyers. Who wants to go in and make a flyer that's already been done 100 different times by 100 different PTAs? To have kind of that. We have right now, it's called the Idea Bank on our website, and we're just trying to build that up so that you could literally go in there and search for a reflections flyer or a cultural night flyer and have those. And most of them, I think, have been made in Canva, which is not my favorite program, but I love the shareability of Canva and the editability of Canva. So it works really well. It's a good resource for what we're using it for. So people can go in and even, so I do have, sorry, there's so much to talk about.
I know.
And I do have 2 specialists under me. So I have the diversity and inclusivity specialist and the male engagement specialist. And my diversity and inclusivity, like her main goal this year, like we kind of met together and talked about getting translation. And we realized that there are so many languages spoken throughout, probably hundreds. I believe in our school district alone, which is Jordan School District, they said something like, I want to say it's like 300 different languages spoken.
Oh, I believe it.
And so, obviously we don't have the bandwidth to do 300, but we can start somewhere. And so our big push, or her big push this year, is really that Spanish translation. We figured that's probably right now, probably one of the biggest ones. And so, just having flyers that are translated is a huge help. And then reaching out to our locals and getting their feedback and letting them know that those resources are there and available for them. So hopefully we can use the podcast for that, the social media, and just emails and letting the locals know as we start building these resources that they're available and they're there. So that's goal number 1. That's just goal number 1, guys. Oh dear.
My
I know, and that's a big one.
But this one, goal number 2, kind of goes along with it. So goal number 2, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Come Play with PTA. It's a webpage that we've had on our site that's kind of not been the most up-to-date and functional. And so we are working on making that up-to-date with, businesses and partners that kind of want to offer little, perks, for lack of a better word.
Like, why would I go to Come Play with PTA? What do they do there?
So if you are a member of PTA and you go to Come Play with PTA, the goal is to have, like we've been working with, we'll be having the Real and Real Royals will have a discount for, and I believe we decided on a buy one get one on that one.
Ooh.
So you could get, buy one get one tickets just by having a membership. It just kind of adds, not that PTA memberships don't have a value without this, but it just adds even more value to your PTA membership. So you could go there and it'll have, discounts. We're hoping to partner maybe with some food places and maybe get some food perks. And we're also thinking of tying in some podcasts to that too. So there might be some special like podcast perks. So if you watch our podcast, you'll get maybe some extra perks through that. So we'll see how that goes. But that's kind of a resource. And the local PTAs can use that and advertise that when they're selling their memberships as well and say, hey, we have this Come Play with PTA, and these are some of the discounts. Like some of them, like if it's a buy one, get one, that second ticket has already paid for your membership.
Oh, totally.
So
totally.
So the benefits are definitely there. So that one, we're just working on getting it up to date and talking to those businesses and places to give you some awesome perks in joining Come Play with PTA. Let's see. And then my goal number 3 is just educating. I feel like I love, kind of, as Angelie said, like I love the parties, and I think those have an important place in PTA. When my kids were in elementary school, because I used to be like, why are we just planning parties? Like what? But those parties bring the community to the school, mm-hmm. and they bring us together, and they allow that positive interaction. And so those parties do have a purpose, and they are important. But there's so much more to PTA than that, and there's so much more that we can do. And I want people to understand our mission and what we do beyond that. We are the largest advocacy or child advocacy group in the state of Utah. And so that one is just kind of advertising and helping people to understand. And I know we've kind of launched a marketing campaign just because we want our communities to know what PTA is and what it does for our children and for our communities and for you. So that's kind of the third goal. And like I said, I've just kind of taken my commission, and we're going to break up into these smaller subcommittees, and we're just going to get to work. And I realize that this is probably one of those more long-term goals that is probably not going to get accomplished in a year, but if we're making progress in the right direction, that's what I want to see.
Well, it's definitely like something that like you can, like for 2 of your things you can add to it,
Yeah.
It's not just going to be like, okay, this is it. Like you can always be like adding or changing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, once you've kind of got that framework, hopefully
mm-hmm.
it will be easier because you're just updating and adding. You're not trying to build from the ground up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it.
So so if you want to join my commission, and I would love to have anyone that's willing to come My email is Cammy, CAMMY, at utahpta.org. And yeah, I mean, we're just, so my commission doesn't meet the 4 times a year, but obviously with these subcommittees, we'll be having, meetings and getting together more often just because you have to. Oh, and I do have one more. I actually have a resolution that needs updating as well, and it's dealing with, now I can't remember, something to do with having, I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't remember because I just barely found out I need to update it.
Yeah, which one was that?
It was something to do with voting, I want to say, and like equal opportunity, like people's ability to vote and to like participate in civic activity. That's what I think it is. I'm gonna have to look it up because it's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, so we will also be working on that so that that's up to date. And these resolutions, because they are based on, their positions that we can take, and they're based on science and studies and it's not just us haphazardly going, oh, I think we should do this. Like, there's a lot of study and work, and as Angelie said, like diving into down rabbit holes because you just keep finding more and more stuff. But making sure that information is up to date. So we try to make sure those are the goal is to make sure those are updated every 7 years to make sure that we've got the most current information. So yeah, so that's kind of the Community Engagement Commission. We have a lot of fun. Oh, and as part of that, we are going out into the community. We're going to hopefully be at a lot more community events, having a booth there, talking about the value of our membership and the value of our mission. So maybe we'll have to advertise those and let you guys know where we're going to be, and we'd love for you to come and say hi.
Yeah.
And yeah, just promote PTA. Let people know, we're not just the party moms that plan the parties at the school.
But we're those too. But
well, and it's not just for moms. Like, that's what I love about having, our male engagement specialist. It's not just for moms. And I know our diversity and inclusivity, same thing. She said, I want my focus to be on, grandparents can be on PTA, and neighbors. It's not just for parents.
Yeah.
Or for moms. So
my mother-in-law always signs up for PTA, and she's always at school events, and she goes on the field trips. She does all the things. My kids don't want me there, not anymore. Grandma,
of course, if you can have grandma there.
Grandma, I love her so much.
That's who I would want.
My mother-in-law and my mom and our stepmoms are awesome too.
Yeah.
So at a local level, you can have commissioners too that focus on specific categories, these categories or others, and I think that's cool too.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think people think, well, who would be my community engagement commissioner on a local level? Well, if you have someone who's doing like your spirit nights or your fundraisers, like that falls into that. If you're putting together a cultural night, that would definitely fall into community engagement. So just kind of think, is this community engagement? Maybe I need a community engagement commissioner to oversee that. And that does not mean that they plan all of those activities, but they can kind of help oversee that.
Yeah.
So,
and they can definitely be thinking about other things they can do.
Whoa.
What was that?
Oh, that's the doorbell.
Oh.
Our next guest is here.
We're like, what's that noise?
Should we pause it? Everyone freeze.
You guys continue, I'll go.
That's real life here, you guys.
That's right, exactly.
So Mike, he's going to go answer the door for us, but he's our communications director, and he has a committee too. Can people join his committee?
I'm trying to think if we have locals on his committee.
Oh yeah, we do. We have, what's her name?
I think you can.
And what's her name?
Because you can join membership, and that's director of membership.
Yeah. We would love to have some locals on like all of those committees.
Yeah.
Just because when you're on the state board, you're required to join a certain amount of committees, and that's awesome. But we also need locals that are like doing the things in the local schools.
Yeah.
You know, because we might think that something is going great and you're like, it's really not.
Yes.
It's really not.
Yes.
But like, we don't know that. So we would love for locals to join all the different committees. So we'll make sure that we post that with this episode.
Yeah.
You can type in show notes. I didn't know that, but you can put in show notes. And like, we could type in the committee thing and our emails and whatnot. And
oh, awesome. Yeah, that'd be fabulous. That's easy for them to just access the information.
yeah, we're learning all about podcasts and all the different things.
Who would have thought the things you learn on PTA?
Yeah. I told them today I was listening to a podcast about like making podcasts. So it's kind of funny, but
you know. So do we have, Mike, do you want to talk about your commission or should we save that for another day?
We can do that another day.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did say that we're going to put people that can join yours too.
Yeah, join. Help me know what the heck I'm doing. Which is cool. I would say that I've talked to people who are like, oh, why don't you do the analytics of the Facebook of the and I'm like, because I don't know what that is. Can you be on my commission?
Yes.
I don't know what that is. You can do that. So,
yeah.
if you know more than me, which is likely, please join my commission and tell me how to do it better.
Well, and I think that's the thing, too, that people don't realize, is, you might have something that you think, oh, that doesn't relate to PTA, but if you really look, you can find that niche, I think, in PTA.
Oh, yeah,
where
definitely.
it's like, oh, yeah, maybe you're one that's like, I really love, I don't know, like writing emails. Okay, well, I'm sure that we can find a place.
We can find a place.
For someone who loves writing email. We can find a place for you. There is a place for you in PTA.
Yeah, I'm on the bylaws committee, and I went the first time, and I was like, oh, well, why don't we do it like this? And they're like, well, we never thought of doing it like this, and we love that way. Why don't we do that? So I'm like, sweet. I don't know.
Yeah, like the different perspectives really help.
Just a different perspective.
And yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's us.
Yeah.
I think
Join my commission.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Please join us. It's always a party.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Cammy, we like to be the party. It's fine.
They are the party.
It's pretty fun.
We are fun. It's fun.
Fun. Yeah, I think we're fun.
All right, then we'll wrap this up.
We're doing a little thing.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Ciao.